Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone, the best neo-Western show of all time, aired on FX 10 years ago. Paramount's spin-off spawning epic may have reignited the neo-Western genre for modern audiences, but a much older show hits the same notes much harder than Yellowstone. Taylor Sheridan's hit series about the Dutton family's fight to hold onto their Montana ranch has become a pop culture juggernaut, earning praise for its sweeping landscapes, political intrigue, and slow-burn storytelling. Its blend of family drama and frontier justice is compelling, and there's no denying that Yellowstone has captured something uniquely American in its exploration of power, loyalty, and survival in the modern West. However, Yellowstone wasn't the first show to blend six-shooter justice with morally complex characters and modern-day dilemmas. A decade before Yellowstone ever hit the air, another TV drama delivered a masterclass in neo-Western storytelling, one with sharper writing, a more nuanced lead, and arguably the greatest antagonist in the genre's entire history. It didn't have the massive marketing machine behind it, but it had grit, charm, and a style all its own. The show in question is FS Justified, and despite airing a decade earlier, it's still the best neo-Western TV show to hit screens so far, even compared to Yellowstone. While Yellowstone has become the defining neo-Western of the 2020s, Justified set that standard in the early 2010s. Airing on FX from 2010 to 2015, Justified was based on an Elmore Leonard short story and starred Timothy Olyphant as Raylan Givens, a U.S. Marshal with a fast draw and an even faster wit. The show's six-season run masterfully balanced gunslinging action with sharply written dialogue, compelling characters, and a deep-rooted sense of place. Set in the backwoods of Harlan County, Kentucky, Justified merged modern law enforcement with old-school outlaw justice in a way that felt organic and endlessly entertaining. The core difference between the two shows lies in execution, where Yellowstone often builds drama through slow, sweeping story arcs and family tension. Justified thrives on immediacy. Every episode offers a payoff, whether it's a perfectly timed one-liner, a jaw-dropping standoff, or a character moment that hits harder than a shotgun blast. Plus, while Yellowstone can get bogged down in its sprawling cast and political plotting, Justified stays lean and laser-focused. It knows exactly what it is and doesn't try to be anything else. It's no knock on Yellowstone to say Justified simply does it better. Both series explore moral ambiguity and the changing face of American justice, but Justified does so with more style, more bite, and far more economy. For fans looking for a series that's better shown than Yellowstone, FX already gave it to us years ago, and it's still streaming as sharp as ever. Kevin Costner's John Dutton might be the patriarch of TV's most iconic ranch, but Timothy Olyphant's Raylan Givens is the neo-Western's true gunslinging king. From the moment he walks on screen in Justified, Raylan embodies everything the genre thrives on: grace under pressure, a deeply rooted moral code, and just enough unpredictability to keep you guessing. He's a lawman who plays by his own rules, but unlike Dutton, Raylan's charm doesn't hide darkness, it wrestles with it in every scene. Where John Dutton is often stoic to a fault, Raylan is effortlessly charismatic, even when he's being lethal. His battles are just as personal, but Justified gives Raylan more room to breathe as a fully formed character. We see his flaws, his regrets, and his complicated relationships, especially with his ex-wife Winona, Natalie Z., and his criminal father Arlo, Raymond J. Barry. These layers make Raylan more relatable and more human, compared to the mythic weight Yellowstone places on John Dutton's shoulders. Plus, frankly, Raylan is more fun to watch. Whether he's disarming a thug with his words or ending a standoff with a single, impossibly fast shot, he owns every scene. His swagger never feels forced, it's earned. For anyone craving a lead who's more compelling than even Yellowstone's John Dutton, Raylan Givens delivers a cooler, smarter, and more emotionally satisfying take on the modern cowboy. Yellowstone has introduced plenty of antagonists across its seasons, from hedge fund villains to corrupt politicians, but none have left the kind of impact that Boyd Crowder, Walton Goggins, did in Justified. Originally meant to die in the pilot, Boyd's electric performance and magnetic personality made him a series regular, and the show was better for it. His blend of menace, intelligence, and sheer unpredictability made him more than a villain. He was a dark mirror to Raylan, maybe the reigning king of modern westerns. But the crown was forged a decade earlier in the dusty, blood-soaked fires of a different frontier. One sculpted not by cowboys on ranches, but by outlaws, ambition, and slow-burning vengeance. Long before Taylor Sheridan's empire galloped onto the scene, FX quietly aired a show that redefined what a modern Western could be. The year was 2013. The show was Justified. In the rolling hills and hollowed-out towns of Harlan County, Kentucky, a new kind of lawman walked tall and talked slow. U.S. Marshal Raylan Givens, played with ice-veined charm by Timothy Oliphant, Raylan wasn't just a cowboy in a Stetson. He was a gunslinger with a badge, a mouthful of swagger, and a moral compass that spun wildly depending on the day. And opposite him, the devil with a Bible verse, Boyd Crowder, portrayed by the mesmerizing Walton Goggins, a preacher-terrorist minor criminal who could blow up a church and then philosophize about the divine. Where Yellowstone leans into sweeping visuals and family dynasties, built on land and legacy, Justified rooted itself in character. Not just the lead two, though their cat and mouse dynamic was pure poetry, but the entire ensemble. Ava Crowder, Art Mullen, Wynn Duffy, Rachel Brooks, and Tim Gutterson each brought a different shade to this morality play with six-shooters. The world of Justified was tightly wound, impeccably written, and dripping with menace and meaning. What truly made Justified the greatest neo-Western of all time wasn't its plot, though it had plenty of grit and gunfire, but its language. Creator Graham Yost, adapting Elmore Leonard's sharp-as-a-razor prose, delivered dialogue like bullets, quick, witty, and lethal. Characters didn't just say things, they sang them, in an Appalachian twang that felt as lyrical as it was lethal. Every line mattered. Every pause carried weight. It was Shakespeare with a shotgun. Yellowstone, for all its high-stakes cattle drama and political maneuvering, often feels like it's screaming to be epic. Justified never had to raise its voice. It could kill with a whisper. It built tension with glances. It made the rural backroads of Kentucky feel more dangerous than any battlefield, more mythic than Monument Valley. Its final season, particularly the showdown between Raylan and Boyd, ranks among the most satisfying series conclusions in TV history. It dared to end not with bloodshed, but with heartbreak, poetry, and a question. We dug coal together, didn't we? Of course, Justified wasn't flashy. It didn't beg for awards. It didn't spawn spin-offs, at least not then. It didn't sell cowboy hats at major retailers. But it did create something deeper, an atmosphere, a mood, a code. It made viewers question right and wrong in a world where everyone had a gun and no one had clean hands. Even its villains were masterclasses in complexity. Mags Bennett, portrayed by the magnificent Margot Martindale, served poisoned apple pie with the warmth of a Southern matriarch and still became one of the most terrifying figures in TV history. The Crow family brought chaos and heartbreak in equal measure. Each season introduced new snakes in the grass, and yet the most dangerous thing always seemed to be the ground itself, the poverty, the legacy of violence, the land that swallowed souls. And that's where Justified truly outpaced Yellowstone and all its rugged peers. It understood that the Western wasn't about the horses or hats. It was about the people left behind by progress, the ones trying to carve a sliver of justice out of land soaked in blood. It didn't paint heroes and villains in bold strokes. It used charcoal and ash. Raylan wasn't a noble man. He was just the fastest gun in a place that still believed that mattered.